The average player reaches the peak of their career at 26 years of age, and by the age of 33 their career is practically over. This has been common for many big players. However, there's one man that defines this. One man that at the age of 33 has taken the world by storm, and his name is Chris Wood. On the 7th of December 1991, a boy called Chris Wood was born and raised in Auckland, New Zealand. He spent his youth career with a few local clubs before joining Cambridge FC, a third-tier New Zealand club. It was clear that his footballing ability, even from a young age. He spent a few more years with a few more local clubs until he was recommended to the West Brom youth coach, all the way at the other side of the world. After a lot of thinking, Wood decided to go to West Brom on trials and was signed not long later. Over a period of 4 years, he was loaned out to a variety of different clubs like Barnsley, Brighton, Birmingham, Bristol and Millwall, where he performed pretty consistently throughout. This was until he went to Championship side Leicester City on loan. After just one game played at the club, they decided to sign him permanently on the 28th of December 2014. He got off to a monster start, scoring 6 in his first 3 games, and across his 2 years of playing at the club, he scored 12 goals in 52 games, before being loaned out to Ipswich for 6 months, then eventually moving to Leeds in the summer of 2015 for around £2.5 million. This is where Wood really begins to shine in the Championship, scoring 41 goals over his 2 years at the club. He was nominated for Championship Player of the Season, as well as being part of the PFA Championship Player of the Year, Leeds Player of the Year, and Players Player of the Year. He gained some attraction from Premier League clubs, and on the 21st of August 2017, he joined Premier League side Burnley for £15 million. Due to Wood's lacking pace and skills, he fitted into Sean Dyche's system very well, playing as a classic poaching number 9, scoring a solid 49 goals across a 5-year window. He was praised as a key player and contributed to most of Burnley's results over the 4 seasons. This was until the 13th of January 2022, when Newcastle triggered his £25 million release clause and signed him on a 2-year deal. Newcastle were experiencing a transition during this period. New owners, new manager, and with that comes new players. Wood was seen as a key player and an exciting opportunity for Newcastle going forward. However, what was to play out would be a slightly different story. You see, Eddie Howe's tactics and style of play was different to the likes of Burnley and Leeds. It consisted of high intensity and fast, fluid, narrow attack and play. This was a problem for Wood as his biggest liability was his pace. As a result, he got limited opportunities at Newcastle, scoring just 4 goals during this time. In a desire for more playtime, he joined Nottingham Forest on an initial loan with an option to buy, a move that would go on to change his career forever. It was a slow start, being ruled out for the majority of his loan move to a thigh injury. However, Forest still wanted him and signed him on a permanent deal for £15 million. This brings us to the 23-24 season, where at the age of 32, something strange happened. Instead of slowing down and declining, he sped up. Goal against Sheffield, brace against Luton, hat-trick against his former club Newcastle. He was deemed to be unstoppable, ending the season with 15 goals, an impressive feat for the 32-year-old. That was it though. He was approaching 33 years old, and with that comes a decline in performances. Right? Well, not exactly.
Chris Wood with the opening goal!
Chris Wood, that is beautiful. Big goal in a huge game for Chris Wood.
17 goals. Chris Wood has 17 goals in the league this season, with nearly 3 months still to go. He stands at 3rd for the Golden Boot, competing with the likes of Haaland, Salah, Isak, Mbeumo, Palmer and more. He helped Forest challenge for the Champions League football and potentially even the title. But how? How at the age of 33 has Chris Wood outscored most Premier League attackers with barely any pace or skills? Well, there's multiple reasons for this, but let me start with the team. Wood's shot power and accuracy is top notch. He can hold up the ball and win aerial duels 9 times out of 10. However, he has one big liability that hinders his career, and that's his pace. He's got none. And as I said, this was the problem at Newcastle. They wanted to play fast football and Wood couldn't. However, when Nuno came to Forest, he brought with him a direct yet fluid style of play. He plays a 4-2-3-1 with Chris Wood as a classic number 9. They often don't do any short passes or tiki-taka nonsense, but instead send a long ball up to Wood, who can win the aerial duel, hold off the defender, pass it to a Forest midfielder, drive it up the pitch so he can receive the ball and tap it in. It's the perfect mix of Brexit ball as well as modern football. The use of quick wingers like Hudson-Odoi and Elanga allows Chris Wood to stay up top and receive the ball. This was evident in their 7-0 win to Brighton. The high intensity play from Aina and Elanga allowed space to cross, with Wood's positioning and ability to find space quickly, resulting in a goal. These tactics outsmarted the likes of Liverpool, United, Spurs and more this season. Wood has been a big help to Forest this season, and is the biggest example of how you don't need pace, flashy skills or modern and complicated tactics to compete in games. But there's a new question that lurks now. What's next for him? I mean, he is 33. Despite performing at an outstanding level for his age, it's not going to last forever. When I asked you, 80% of you thought he was going to go even further and will perform even better in the future. However, the other 20% of you thought no, this is his peak. After this, he will decline. Personally, I think Chris Wood can keep going for another season or two. What do you think? Leave your thoughts down below, and while you're at it, check out this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. See ya.